checking in at 500, 4 wins, 4 defeats, and Chicago 4 wins, 3 defeats. In the early going here, Armando ready to go, and so are we. First pitch of the ball game is inside to Brent Lillibridge.
That's what Galaraga will do a lot of today. Not necessarily that far inside, but he will use that good two-seam fastball to run it in the hands of the right-handed hitters.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike, 1-1. 49 degrees our game time temperature. We are hoping that it will climb to somewhere around the mid-50s. That'd be nice. Nice if we get some sunshine, but it's a much better day today than it was yesterday for sure. 2-1 on Lillibridge. Galaraga, 13-game winner last year for the Tigers. Here's the 2-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Armando last year faced the Chicago White Sox in that makeup game right at the end of the season that Chicago had to play. It had playoff implications, but he came in relief in that game. Freddie Garcia started that game. Didn't fare too well, but that was a whole different mindset. That's fouled straight back, 3-2. The one thing we have seen out of Galaraga, though, Rod, is the fact that he just has that exact demeanor that he's showing right there. It seems like in good times and bad.
Well, he's cool, calm, and collected while on the mound, and displayed that much of his rookie season, and also did as much pitching at Cabrera Park in front of 50,000 people on opening day here.
3-2 has popped up, back out of play. So Lillibridge doing what a good leadoff man will do, and that's go deep in the count and make Galaraga show everything he has.
Actually, it was 44,000 people here opening day, wasn't it?
44, I think. Yeah, that's what it was. Still a big crowd. The pomp and circumstance of opening day, the added pressure that goes with that. There's another foul, back out of play. So already Lillibridge giving Galaraga a fairly good battle here. Lillibridge had a double, was 1 for 6 in the game on Monday, the first game in the series. And that game was played in about 37-degree weather. It was chilly on Monday. That's in the air to shallow center field. The second baseman going back, Polanco, for the out.
Talked to several players on both sides yesterday about those conditions they played under on Monday, and you know, guys were saying they don't even know how they were able to swing the bat that afternoon. That's how cold it was.
Seems like in days like that, your body just never gets warm. It never gets loose, especially for the pitchers. And we saw some control trouble for both of the starters that day. Zach Miner was saying before the game, said, I felt the same my last inning of work as I did when I was warming up in the bullpen. I just never got warm. Here's a high towering drive off the bat of Josh Fields into right center field. This ball has hit a ton. Granderson won't get it. Up against the wall. Fields will hit the bag at second. He's going to try for 3. There's the play. Here's the throw, and he is safe. It was close, but Fields legs out a triple.
Now there's some wind blowing here this afternoon at Cabrera Park, especially balls hitting the right center field. It's a fastball right down the middle that Fields inside out, and he gets on his horse right away. Granderson can't run it down, but once he gets to it, he gets it to Polanco. By this time, Fields is thinking 3. Nice relay by Polanco, but the throw a little to the left field side of the bag, which allows Fields to slide in safely.
So an early scoring chance now for Chicago. First triple of the year for Josh Fields, and the Tigers pulling their infield in a bit.
Halfway distance, they're going to make Fields on third base make a decision whether he's going to come on contact or not.
Carlos Quentin had a phenomenal year last year, and he's off to a torrid start against this season with 2 homers on Monday.
He's a dead pull hitter, but you can't be afraid to go inside on Quentin. He stands right on top of the dish, and really you have to pitch him right around the waistline on the inner third of the plate, and you can jam him, but you can't be afraid to go in there.
Wave and a miss, 1-1.
The majority of his hits this year have come to the pull field.
3 for 5 on Monday, the first game of the series, a pair of home runs.
that's where you have to pitch it.
1-2.
This is a tough pitch for Quentin to get to. That ball tailing down and in on him.
Quentin last year hit the third most home runs for a first-year White Sox player. Only Jim Thome hit more. Actually, Thome and Dick Allen. Thome hit 42 in his first year with Chicago, and Dick Allen hit 37. Then you've got Quentin with 36. What a trade to bring him over from Arizona. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. Galaraga with a big early strikeout here. 2 gone.
By Galaraga throwing the two-seam fastball inside to Quentin, that'll get Quentin thinking about that pitch, which opens up the outside corner with a real good slider. And the location of the slider is where you want to have it against some of these right-handed hitters that Ozzie Guillen will run up there this afternoon. Really an unhittable pitch that Galaraga threw there for strike 3.
Well, Tiger pitching struck out 10 White Sox in the opening game on Monday. Here's Thome now with a man at third and 2 outs. He went around. Strike 1. Would be nice for Galaraga to strand this triple. Thome has knocked in 5, a couple of home runs.
And Tigers have a special shift for Jim Thome, but in these types of situations with a runner on third, nobody out, less than 2 outs, or even 2 outs, Thome in the past will go the other way, just trying to get a single.
0-2.
You see Polanco there in shallow right field along with Santiago on the second base side of the bag. Cabrera hugging that line, and where Thome hits the majority of his balls on the ground in that direction.
Got him. Strike 3. Thome is caught looking. What a comeback by Armando Galaraga. He strands a 1-out triple with a pair of strikeouts, including Thome. To gain a split in the series, we'll check out the Detroit starting lineup here this afternoon. And for Detroit, it'll be Curtis Granderson leading off in center field. Placido Polanco batting second at second base. Maglio is out in right field hitting third. Then Miguel Cabrera at first base. Carlos Guillen, the DH. Gerald Laird 7 for 22 this season, off to a nice start. You've got Inge, Anderson, and Santiago rounding out the Detroit starting 9. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Jose Contreras. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
He was not sharp in his opening day start this year at their ballpark, U.S. Cellular in Chicago, against the Minnesota Twins. And he'll need to be sharp today against the Tigers because they've got a lot of right-handed hitters in their lineup with tremendous success against Contreras.
Curtis Granderson will lead things off. It'll be Granderson, Polanco, and Ordonez for Detroit here in the first inning. No score.
Contreras ruptured Achilles tendon last August and missed the remainder of the season, as you would imagine.
Well, Curtis Granderson today is wearing a special shoe here for Jackie Robinson Day. Only 13 big leaguers are wearing this shoe, and the Major League Baseball selected Granderson as one of those players. He is wearing the number 42 in the old Brooklyn Dodger colors. And he lines one to first on a wicked hop. Konerko stays with it for the out.
Get the married men off the infield.
So Granderson hit it hard, and nothing to show for it. One up, one away. Konerko with a nice play down there at first base.
He's an underrated defender.
He
does so much damage with his bat that's what people talk about most often. But Konerko makes most of the plays down there at first base.
Here's Polanco.
Already, Contreras reaching into his bag of tricks. He will drop down to a sidearm angle, low three-quarter angle, over the top. He'll give you a split-fingered fastball from all of those angles. He's got a decent fastball, low to mid-90s, and a slider to go with it.
Off the end of the bat, right back to the mound. And Polanco is out, 2 gone.
Take a look at the White Sox defense behind Contreras this afternoon. You've got Quentin Anderson Dye in the outfield. Dye hit his 300th home run here just a couple of days ago. Fields, Ramirez, Lillibridge, Konerko round out the infield. Przinsky back behind the plate today, putting down the signs for Jose Contreras.
Jermaine Dye out in right field. Very underrated player in his own right.
Yeah, he plays both sides of the ball real nice. Good defender in right, and also will hit you 300, and he will drive in 100 runs just about every year.
Here's Maglio Ordonez with 2 outs. Once again, all of the players in this game today wearing the number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson on Jackie Robinson Day around Major League Baseball.
And that's exactly what all players will do that are playing this afternoon or tonight. All teams, all coaches, number 42 in honor of a great man. I guess the only one that really doesn't have to change his jersey tonight is Mariano Rivera.
That is true.
He is the only one that wears 42 all the time.
That's fouled back out of play.
And when he retires, the number will not be issued to any other players.
Yeah, you'll only see the 42 out in the outfield walls. And here it is at Comerica Park. 2-1 pitch. Maglio on the homestand, 4 for 14.
Well, before the first pitch, the umpire threw a ball at Konerko, as did his catcher.
Contreras. So he was trying to get out of the way. 2-2 the count on Maglio.
I know Don Cooper, their pitching coach last year, the one thing that he wanted Contreras to work on was establishing his fastball early in the game. At times he goes to his secondary pitches too early, but when you got 93, 94 in your back pocket, you may well go ahead and establish that pitch, especially when you got movement with it.
Like he had there, good movement and a comeback fastball, and Ordonez is caught looking. 1-2-3. First strikeout for Jose Contreras. 1 in the books here at Comerica on Jackie Robinson Day. It is scoreless.
The second inning, and Jermaine Dye did a lot of damage here a couple of days ago. His first time up, he homered to left field. Second time up, he hit a double down the opposite way. And then for good measure, he went back up the middle for his third knock. So it was a real good day for Jermaine Dye here at Comerica Park. And what a player he is.
Three out of five. He combined with Canerco to get their offense started here on Monday. We'll see if Galaraga has better luck. Jermaine is also 5 RBI shy of 1,000 for his career. It was a career that I guess most of us seem to forget that started with Atlanta a long time ago. He has played for several different organizations.
Galaraga appears to be as sharp today as he was on opening day. The fastball moving all over the strike zone, keeping the ball down below the knees. And of course, that breaking ball is an outstanding pitch for him whenever he throws it.
Pulled into left field. That's a base hit.
It's a nice job of hitting there by Dye. Two-seam fastball with good velocity. He just went down and got it.
That'll bring up Paul Canerco, who went back-to-back with Jermaine Dye in the second inning on Monday for his 300th home run.
As you could imagine, the first time in the history of the game, two players in the same game hitting their 300th home run back-to-back. He had a monster day here too Monday.
That was the longest game of the season in terms of time. It was about 3:20. It was a freezing cold day on Monday, and neither pitcher was able to find the strike zone all that much. Even the guy that won, Gavin Floyd, won what, 7?
That was a real good indication of how difficult it was to hold on to the baseball. Because Floyd does not walk that many people. He's a guy that's not afraid to attack the strike zone.
Canerco is off to a 346 start. He's a big double play candidate. This time he hits it in the air, though, to center field, where Granderson is patrolling. One out. Now A.J. Pierzynski. Well, it looks like the sun is starting to peek through here, partner. That's great news.
You got that right.
52 degrees right now, temperature rising. Nice day for baseball here in the Motor City after a rainy morning. A.J. 182 in the batting average column. And that's pulled and caught by the second baseman Polanco. Nifty play. Thing was headed to right field.
One thing about Polanco playing that second base position, he knows exactly the tendencies of the opposing hitters and where they like to hit the baseball. And for the most part, he's always playing in the right spot.
So with 2 outs, here is Alexi Ramirez. Just about everybody in the Chicago lineup had at least one hit on Monday, and Ramirez was 1 for 5 with an RBI. Slow start, though. 160 batting average. Good looking player who spent 7 seasons playing in Cuba. Galaraga missing, 1 ball and 1 strike.
The White Sox allowed Orlando Cabrera to leave as a free agent after he spent 2 years playing the shortstop position for them because of Alexi Ramirez. His true position is shortstop. Ramirez played second base last year for the White Sox. Also played some center field. A few spot starts at shortstop as Ed Hickox calls the strike.
It is nice when you have a guy that can play those positions, and those are all pretty good athletic positions, or the need for athleticism.
He's got some power too, surprising power. He's a slender fellow, but he's got some nice wrists, some real good power, good bat speed.
Pulled foul. He was out in front. Jeff Cox knocks it down. The third base coach.
Jeff Cox has a lot of fun down there coaching third base. His second year as the third base coach for Chicago White Sox.
Jeff Cox is in his ready stance down at third base once the pitch is about to be delivered, just in case he has a runner coming to third base. It's like he's fielding a position. That is pulled foul again down the third base line.
I watch Jeff Cox while his team's taking batting practice, and he stands in the third base box and he watches the flight of the balls, and he watches, which balls carry, which balls aren't carrying. So when the game starts, when someone hits a ball in that direction, he's got a pretty good idea of exactly what that ball is going to do. I don't really see any other third base coaches doing that.
And again, the 1-2 lifted in the air. Left field, playable for Josh Anderson. He's under it. Side retired. So nothing doing for the White Sox. They leave him, and you're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Go to the bottom of the second. Here come the Tigers. Galaraga has kept the White Sox off the scoreboard, and Miguel Cabrera will lead it off against the right-handed offerings of Jose Contreras. It'll be Cabrera, Guillen, and Laird, and Miguel has had some big-time success against Jose Contreras. 7 for 10 with 3 RBIs.
He owns him.
That would be a 700 batting average, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be.
There's a ball inside, 2-0.
Which is why I can't understand why Anderson in center field is playing as shallow as he is playing out there. He's got a lot of room behind him at Comerica Park, and if Cabrera gets something up in the air, there's no way that Anderson's going to run it down. I could understand trying to take the base hit away from guys like Polanco, Santiago, and Anderson. But playing as shallow as he's playing against Cabrera, I don't understand.
How much of the scouting reports are based on the most recent action as opposed to maybe the body of work of a hitter's career? Now there's a high fly ball to shallow center field. Anderson coming over, and he'll make the catch.
I think the scouting report is probably more of the body of work when scouting reports are given to the opposing teams, on opposing teams.
Well, here's a reminder to vote for the player of the game using your cell phone. Text Tigers followed by a space and then the player's uniform number to 74499. You'll see the final results post game in Tigers Live. Now obviously today everyone is wearing number 42, so use the traditional number that the guys would wear, like Granderson would wear 28, Polanco 14, and on and on. So we'll use the traditional numbers. Please don't text 42, because then everybody would be our player of the game. There's ball one to Carlos Guillen.
Carlos still bothered by that sore Achilles tendon. One of the reasons why Jim Leland has elected to DH him. Carlos also was slated to DH yesterday before that game was rained out. I know the Tigers are hoping that's not a lingering injury for him.
Yeah, that is always a concern. Of course, it has been the hamstrings in the past with Guillen. There's a high towering drive hit into right field. Jermaine Dye appears to have room on this one. Edge of the warning track for the out. 2 gone, 5 up, 5 down against Contreras. I guess the good news this year is that because there is an opening in the DH spot, that Jim Leyland has that flexibility to stick a guy that might be a little bit hurt or banged up in that position. As Laird stands in. Pretty good career numbers against the Sox, 355. There is strike one.
John Danks was going to start yesterday for Ozzie Guillen, but they decided to go with Contreras today, which allows Danks to go up against the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow, who aren't as good against left-handed pitching. It also allows Ozzie Guillen to do something with his rotation that Jim Leyland elected to do with his as well, and that's kind of move some guys around. Now he can split up Contreras and Colon with Danks in the middle.
Well, teams typically have that option in April because of all the built-in off days, but the Tigers started the season with very few off days. In fact, none the first week and a half.
10 straight games.
And you don't normally see that.
No. I think with the World Baseball Classic, early on, they decided not to build in that off day, and it really would have made no sense for the Tigers to have an off day playing in Toronto inside the Dome to open up the series.
Yeah, good point. Usually in the cold weather cities like Detroit or Cleveland, Cincinnati in the Midwest or the Northeast, there are those days built in because of poor weather. 2-2 on Gerald Laird. Swing and a miss, and Contreras so far in control. That's his second strikeout of the ball game. 1, 2, 3 inning. Still no score. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Trust us, will make you happy you came in. That's a promise. By Buick Pontiac GMC. See your Metro Detroit Buick Pontiac GMC dealer today. And by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Hey fans, I got a super spring deal for you. You can see the Tigers take on the New York Yankees April 27th through 29th for just $10. Mezzanine seats for all April games, and select games in May are on sale now for only $10. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
You know, if we weren't here broadcasting that game, we'd probably buy our own tickets, wouldn't we?
A couple of them.
Well, Paws has to be happy that the sun has come out. Paul's always working the crowd, taking photos. Big star here at Comerica Park. There's Brian Anderson to lead it off for Chicago. Pretty good pitching duel so far between Galaraga and Contreras. Anderson hitting just $167, playing in the place of Dwayne Wise, who separated his shoulder in that first game on Monday. He's been with the White Sox the last couple of years now. Very good speed, good defensive outfielder, but has just never been able to hit at that consistent level here in the major leagues. The 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes.
And depending on how much he does hit in the future will depend on whether he's a 4th or 5th outfielder or if he's a guy that finds himself in the batting order every single day.
He has a little bit of power. Hit 8 homers last year with the White Sox, but batted only .232. 3-0 pitch, and there's a strike. Anderson and then Lillibridge and Fields here in the Chicago 3rd. No score. There's ball 4. Leadoff man is on via the walk. First of the game for Galaraga.
The second baseman, Brett Lillibridge.
Now the top of the order, Brett Lillibridge, who started the game with a pop-up to second base.
With nobody out and the speed that Lillibridge has and the type of game that he plays, would not be surprised to see him try to bunt for a base hit or sacrifice trying to get Anderson down to second base. Brandon Inge still playing a step behind the bag at 3rd. But if he does bunt and it's not a good bunt, Inge can still make the play from there. He's that good at that hot corner.
He offered strike 1.
In this situation, because Cabrera is holding on the runner at first base, if you're Lillibridge, you want to bunt something down toward first base. And you want to make him field the bunt. You want to go in this direction. You want to stay away from this guy. This guy can make plays down there.
Time called late time, and Galaraga stopped his motion to the plate.
Most pitching coaches will teach you if you get stopped that late, so just go ahead and throw the ball toward home plate. Just go ahead and lob it up there. Not what Josh Beckett did the other day.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was interesting. Abreu called timeout. He hurled one, and it got pretty close to his noggin. He got 6-game suspension for that.
Sure did, and that's pretty lengthy. Although for a pitcher, he'll miss what, probably 1 start.
How about that 6-game suspension for throwing a ball after a timeout had been called, and you get too close to the hitter?
Yep, I haven't seen that in a while, if ever. A couple of Angels were thrown out of that game, ensuing brawl.
Bob Watson, the dean of discipline in the commissioner's office, must have thought that it was intentional by Beckett. Or he wouldn't have gotten a 6-game suspension.
2 balls, 1 strike on Brent Lillibridge.
And we may see hit and run now. I mean, when you fall behind hitters, and like Galaraga has fallen behind Lillibridge with no outs, runs probably at a premium today, we may see some activity.
Yep, there it goes, swing and a miss. Let's see if the Tigers can get him. They do on a strong throw by Gerald Laird. Boy, you smelled that one out. Anderson caught stealing on a nice throw.
Well, Lillibridge failed to do his job. And when the hit and run's on, the guy on first base is not trying to get a good jump. He's hoping that you can put the ball on the ground, which would allow him to get into second base safely, and you keep your team out of a double play. But Laird with a very nice throw down to second base, able to get Anderson as well.
So that really changes the complexion of this inning now. 2-2 on Lillibridge. Base is empty. Not much of a chance for Anderson, who was cut down by a wide margin.
Not a bad call there by Ozzie Guillen. When you put your players in situations to do the things that you ask them to do, things that you practice every single day and work on in batting practice, you're hoping they can get the job done.
In the air to left field. Anderson going back. 2 gone. That'll bring up Josh Fields. Galaraga was saying earlier this week that last year he won 13 ball games. His goal maybe this year is to win 17 games, take that next step, and maybe next year win 20 games. That's how he has approached the really kind of the sudden success that he has had at this big league level. And the Rangers gave up on him, and he comes to Detroit. Tigers give him an opportunity early last year, and he flourished. Here's the 0-1. Fouled straight back.
There was no pitcher in the American League that was better than Galaraga against right-handed batters. He held right-handed hitters to a 174 batting average last year with a mixture of two-seam fastballs, cutters, and real good breaking balls. Galaraga also has 93 in his back pocket whenever he wants to reach back and get it. So he can be real tough out there when he's on.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. 2-2 on the slugging Josh Fields. Tripled in his first at bat.
Josh Fields, former starting quarterback at Oklahoma State, and a good one.
Big time program.
Good athlete.
Yeah, he has showed that he is a very good athlete. Taking over at third base. Joe Creedy now playing in Minnesota these days. Long-time Chicago White Sox third baseman, and Fields just kind of biding his time. Hit a ton of home runs as a rookie a couple of years ago in 07, 23 of them.
Spent some of his offseason down in Miami and taking ground balls with Joey Cora, Ozzie Guillen's bench coach, trying to get better at that position.
That's a fair ball deep behind the bag. Inge with a tough play. Got him. Whoa.
That boy ain't nothing nice.
Brandon Inge sparkling again at third base.
Go ahead, boy. What a throw.
Doesn't get better than this. Defensive play, you lead off the next half inning. And Brandon Inge will do just that. It'll be Inge, Anderson, and Santiago against the right-hander Jose Contreras as we go to the bottom of the third in a scoreless ball game today. These two teams playing for the final time in this series, a rain-shortened series. Brandon batting .269, off to good power numbers, though, with 4 home runs, 7 RBIs. Waving a miss.
Contreras looks good today. And from that arm slot he's throwing from, he's got some nice tilt on his breaking ball. He's got real good movement with his two-seam fastball as well. He has not thrown many split-fingered fastballs here today, which is his signature pitch.
Right back up the middle and through. It's a base hit. Tigers had their first runner and their first hit of the game.
Let's take one more look at that play by Brandon Inge. Take a look at the feet before. Now watch Brandon how he gets set here. This allows him to make this athletic play. And he also knows who's running. Fields has some athleticism. No, although he doesn't have tremendous speed, Brandon grabs that ball, throws in one motion. And then, as you said, how many times do you see a guy leading off? He comes up and gets a big knock right back up the middle.
So Inge goes the other way. He is aboard. Here's Anderson, who is always a threat to bunt and utilize that speed.
about the footwork of Brandon. Talking to Matt Williams a few years back when I was out in Arizona, that's one of the things that Matt Williams said that you need to do at third base if you're going to be good at all, because balls get on you so quickly. You have to have good feet and you have to be balanced at that position.
And it seems like his feet are always moving.
That's one of the reasons why he's able to go north and south, east and west at that position and make all kinds of dazzling plays. Well, Jim Leyland finds himself in the same type of situation that Isaac Ian was in last half inning. He's got a decent base runner. He's got a bat handler. It's just a matter of how he wants to utilize this situation to get Inge down to second base. Inge has already stolen the base this year and has been caught once. And Anderson is a terrific bunter if he chose that option. And Contreras is slow to the plate, so there's a lot of things in the Tigers' favor here.
So Anderson ahead in the count. A couple of hits and 3 RBIs in this series. And getting the start again here today. And that is line fair. Sounded like he broke his bat down the right field line. Inge hits the bag. He's coming to third. Anderson almost caught him. He got to second base quickly. Man, can he run. Second and third, nobody out. Put the bat on the ball and just run.
Not a bad pitch by Contreras. It crowds Anderson, but he fights it off over the head of Konerko. Inge at first base had to get back because we've already talked about that in this series. Balls on the line, you have to get back to the bag or you run the risk of getting doubled up. He picked up Gene Lamont because he couldn't see where the ball was. Gino said, come on over, and that allowed Anderson to get into second base. And you're right, Anderson can pick him up and put him down.
So now a golden opportunity here for the Tigers with nobody out. They have their number 9 hitter, Santiago, who was hitting 6th in the first game in the series and responded with a home run and a 3-for-5 day. No balls, 1 strikeout, Ramon.
Santiago will take a ground ball in this direction or that direction, which would get him an RBI. That would get Brandon Inge home, and that would also get Anderson, who's on second base, over to third base with only 1 out, with a golden opportunity for Granderson to drive him in. You don't really have to get a base hit here.
No balls, 2 strikes. Santiago getting the start today again at the shortstop position. Adam Everett feeling a little bit under the weather here this afternoon. So Santiago, especially coming off that nice performance on Monday, getting another chance. Swing and a miss, and Contreras carved him up on 3 pitches, 1 gone.
He's thrown a couple of split-fingered fastballs here in this inning, whereas he didn't throw any the first 2. This last one a little slower. He uses that as his changeup, and that ball just kind of darted away from Santiago. Santiago usually a really good contact hitter.
Well, that's the first step for Contreras to trying to get out of this mess. And now the top of the order, Granderson.
Imperative the Tigers score in this inning.
Granderson fighting it a bit now, 0 for his last 13. And he fouls that one off, 0-1.
Contreras has gone to some softer stuff here with runners on second and third and 1 out. And some of the Tigers hitters should take notice of that should they find themselves at the plate with runners in scoring position. His split-fingered fastball and his slider he is brought out.
Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. A couple of home runs, 5 RBIs so far for Granderson. High fly ball, foul ground, Fields going over, and he makes the play, and the runners will hold. So Contreras climbing back into this inning, gets the strikeout and the pop-up, and now it's going to be up to Placido Polanco. And this is the guy that usually has come through in these situations. He's always been a very good two-strike hitter, two-out hitter. He has a chance here to put the ball in play, maybe get a couple of runs in, because you know a base hit will score not only Inge at third, but Anderson, who can fly down at second base.
And one reason why Polanco is so good in these situations, very seldom does he strike out. Since putting on a Tigers uniform every year, one of the toughest to strike out in the American League.
Yeah, he seems to be top 1 or 2 every season. Ball 1. Polanco has hit safely in 6 in a row. He's had 8 hits on this homestand. Had a really good series against Texas after a slow start in that 4-game set against Toronto on the road.
Would not be shocked if Contreras really did not give Polanco a whole lot to hit in this at bat.
It's kind of odd that you would think that you would pitch around a guy to get to Maglio, but this guy would seem to be one of those types of players that would give him more trouble.
Polanco has really good numbers against Contreras. Maglio does not. And that's probably the only reason, with the base open 2 outs, that you would sort of pitch around Polanco, or at least try to make him hit your pitch. But you're not going to throw him anything down the middle of the plate.
Two and one on Polanco.
Contreras gives you that same arm speed with his fastball and also that split-fingered fastball that he throws. Therefore, we've seen some awkward swings by Tigers hitters when he has decided to throw that split-fingered fastball. It looks like a regular fastball coming out of his hand. All of a sudden, the bottom falls out of it once it gets toward home plate.
Little chopper hit to third. Fields waits on it. And that is that for the Tigers. Promising start to the inning, but it fizzles in the end as Contreras pitches out of a jam. Still no score at the end of 3. First start, what former Tigers manager broke up his no-hitter? The Bird had a no-hitter going into the 7th. And it was a former Tiger manager that broke up that no-hitter. Of course, the Bird passing away a couple of days ago, and sad times here in the Motor City for baseball fans. That's your Aflac trivia question today. Galaraga climbs on top of the hill, and he will face Carlos Quinton, Jim Thome, and Jermaine Dye. As we go to the 4th, no score. Both teams with a couple of hits. Both teams really with good scoring opportunities. Carlos Quinton Struck out with a man at third and less than 2 outs back in the first. Looked like the White Sox might get themselves a run on the Fields triple. There's a drive toward left field, hooking though. Back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wow, look at those numbers. Career against Detroit. 16 games he's hitting at a .355 clip. Wave and a miss. 1-2. Talked about Quentin's batting stance a couple of days ago. It's a little bit odd for a guy that has that much power. It's almost Jose Canseco-esque. That type of stance. That's rolled toward the left side for Santiago. 1 out. By the way, Rod, we have a special birthday wish to pass along today. 2 of them. Carolyn Rosinski is producing our telecast today, and her grandparents, Leo and Lorraine in Traverse City, both celebrating birthdays.
Really?
Yeah. How about that?
Leo and Lorraine. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, within a day of each other. So they're tuned in up in Traverse City. Here's Jim Thome, who fouls it straight back.
That's a nice part of the country, Traverse City.
I know you've been up there.
I have been up there.
It's a little crowded, though, Cherry Festival time. Fun nonetheless. Thome struck out in the first. Ball down low, 1-1. Big Jim with 543 round trippers in his career. That's line to left field right at Anderson. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Jermaine Dye. So Galaraga looking good today. He's had at least 1 base runner in every inning so far, but has not had much trouble.
Well, one of the keys to Galaraga's success is the fact that he's going right after these White Sox hitters. Even with the display that they put on here at Comerica Park on Monday, he's not afraid attacking the strike zone. Mixing his pitches up well. Starting some guys off with breaking balls, some guys 4-seam fastballs. The remainder of the guys, he's throwing 2-seam fastballs that move a little bit more.
Galaraga has had good numbers in his career here at Comerica Park. He's making his 15th career start in this ballpark and his 6-3 lifetime here with an ERA of under 4, 3.95. 2-0 pitch.
That's what he has the ability to do. Even 2-0, he can back off a little bit. He can cut the fastball and throw it for a strike.
There's another one right at the knees. Strike call. 2-2. Dye had a single to start the second. Never really got any farther than that, though.
It's not always velocity that allows you to be really successful as a big league pitcher. And when you can change speeds, as Galaraga can do, and throw strikes, you can win a lot of ball games at this level. The key is movement and changing speeds. Ooh,
we had him flinching.
Ed Hickox was ready to do it.
He almost pulled the trigger on strike 3, but just could not do it.
He flinched.
Full count. Right off the end of the bat. Galaraga will cover, and Cabrera feeds the pitcher for the out. Side retired. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Armando Galaraga. in Mark Fidrich's first start, what former Tiger manager broke up his no-hitter, and you're going to have to hang on a second because Maglio Ordonez has stepped into the batter's box, and he'll take outside 1-0. It'll be Maglio, then Cabrera, and Guillen. We'll give you a few more minutes or seconds to think about the answer. That's golfed in the air. Left center field. Brian Anderson. One gone. Again, the question, Fidrich's first major league start. It was the no-hitter was broken up by Buddy Bell, the former Tiger manager. A single in the 7th. Buddy Bell, of course, played third for the Cleveland Indians.
Buddy Bell now working in the Chicago White Sox organization as the minor league field coordinator.
Here is Miguel Cabrera. Right at the knees or below for strike one, 0-1.
When I got home last night, I was flipping some channels, and on one of the sports channels, they were showing that Monday night baseball game that the Bird Fidrich pitched in against the New York Yankees.
Oh, I bet that was fun to watch again.
I watched it in its entirety, and it was really a nice game. It was he was good. His fastball was 91, 92 with some movement. Nice tight breaking ball. Going up against that Yankee team. Ron LaFleur was playing center field. Aurelio Rodriguez was at third. Jason Thompson was also in that ball game.
Playing first base?
Yes. No, he was playing right field.
Thompson was?
I believe he was.
Really? That's off the end of the bat. Contreras pouncing on it. Oh, he bobbled it. Safe at first base is Cabrera.
The Tigers caught a break there. Don't know exactly what Contreras did. He had the ball in his hand and just dropped it. I don't know how he dropped it with those big mitts he's got. He's got some big hands. Looked like he took a peek up where Cabrera was momentarily and just mishandled it. But the stands that night at Tiger Stadium were full, and they were on their feet the entire way. You could see why he was loved so much by Tigers fans. Talking about Mark the Bird Fidrich.
You know, the Tigers, I think that year, 76, were something like 13 games under 500 as a team overall, but it seemed like
they went to the World Series.
Yeah, they had like a playoff atmosphere every time he pitched. Guillen skies one in the air to center. Hit that thing a mile high. Anderson waiting on it. And there are two gone. Well, let's check out the box score from that day. Pat Dobson took the loss in that game for the Indians. 9 innings, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts. Around the floor 2 for 4 that day. And Buddy Bell broke up the no-hit bid for the Bird. May 15th of 1976. Here's Gerald Laird with 2 outs. Laird struck out against Contreras back in the 2nd. Contreras has 3 strikeouts in this game. Ball 1 inside, 1-0. Each team has 2 hits. Not a whole lot going on, although each team has had 1 really good scoring chance. There goes the runner. Here comes the throw. And safe down at second base. Third base side of the bag. And that allowed Cabrera to get in with his first steal.
That is the last thing the White Sox were thinking that Cabrera would do. Contreras is already slow going to the plate. And you're not expecting Cabrera to try to steal a bag. So he pretty much caught them sleeping.
Last year, opponents were successful in 16 out of 17 stolen base attempts against Contreras.
There you have it.
Maybe why Mr. Cabrera, who is not certainly fleet of foot, took off. Wave and a miss by Laird. 2-1.
As we pointed out earlier, when there were runners on second and third and nobody out, Contreras all of a sudden got away from the fastball and went to his breaking pitches, as he did there. 2 balls, no strikes to Laird.
Now 2-2. Miguel Cabrera has now equaled his stolen base total from a year ago.
Well, usually you need a Lamborghini to get him down to second.
He got in there nicely, though, put himself in scoring position. Well, Contreras just seems to lull you to sleep with that sidearm delivery, that assortment of breaking pitches, off-speed stuff. He had Laird out in front again.
He will be key to the White Sox success this year with Burley and Danks and Floyd. They'll need some good innings out of him.
That's popped in the air again to center field. And Brian Anderson coming in to retire the side. Tigers get a base runner, leave a man at second. We're going to travel to the 5th this afternoon. No score. Inning here at Comerica Park, in our April in the D coverage of the Red Wings, and the Stanley Cup playoffs begins tomorrow. Game 1 of their first round series against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Red Wings Live starts things off at 6:30, followed by the game at 7. Red Wings playoff hockey presented by Bell Tire tomorrow night on Fox Sports Detroit and Fox Sports Detroit HD. Some Red Wings fans checking out the Tigers here today. And it is scoreless so far as we go to the 5th inning. Leading it off for Chicago, Paul Konerko. Temperature up to 54 now. Sun is shining here at the ballpark. Konerko is 0 for 1, fly ball to center field his first time up. Galaraga misses low, 1-0. Armando picked up a 1-2-3 4th inning. Retired 5 straight. Good pitch. Good result. 1-1.
Armando has the ability to, even though he falls behind 1 ball and no strikes, he has a lot of confidence in his breaking pitch that he can throw it for a strike and to keep hitters off his fastball. And then he comes back with the fastball when they may be looking for something softer and they don't swing at it. They don't offer at it. His ranges with his fastball also go anywhere from 85 to 93. So he's changing speeds on everything that he throws, the fastball and the breaking ball, which makes him tough to hit.
As he has been today, he has surrendered just the 2 hits, the triple by Fields in the first, the single by Dye in the second. He's also thrown in a walk, but he caught Anderson stealing on a busted hit and run. 1-2. On the ground to third, foul. Inge already has made a great play in this game. By the time this season is over, he might be able to put together a half-hour show on his great plays.
He may win a Gold Glove. Adrian Beltre in Seattle, who the Tigers will see on Friday, has won the last 2 at the third base position. And so for Inge to dethrone him, he's going to have about 30 minutes of a highlight film.
Back up the middle and into center.
It's good at bat. Good 2-strike approach.
Leadoff man on. It's the third time today the Sox have put the leadoff man on base.
Konerko already this year has gotten quite a few hits right back up the middle, and he usually does it with 2 strikes.
Here's A.J. Pierzynski. Had a hit taken away by Polanco, who made a nice stab down there at second base in the second inning.
Pierzynski's a nice player. Does a very nice job handling the pitching staff. And also hits a little bit. 31 doubles last year, which was a record established for a catcher wearing a White Sox uniform. Also 150 hits. Also a record for White Sox catcher. So he's getting it done offensively.
There are his career numbers. He's zeroing in on 100 career home runs. Cabrera playing behind Konerko at first base. Pierzynski is one of those guys also that has had pretty good luck here at Comerica Park. 12 RBIs in his last 12 games here.
By playing behind Konerko, it gives Cabrera a better opportunity to field a ground ball if it's hit sharply down in that direction.
It's hit in that direction, but it gets through right by Cabrera. Konerko goes to second, stops there as Maglio gets it back in, and the White Sox are in business here in the 5th.
It's one of the reasons why they were playing behind Konerko, because Pierzynski hits lots of balls in that direction, but this one was whistled off of the bat of Pierzynski. Looked like Cabby may have been able to knock it down, but that ball was by him by the time he took the dive for it. And the lack of speed by Konerko didn't allow him to get to third base.
That'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Alexi Ramirez.
Tigers anticipating a bunt on the corners.
Ball 1. White Sox doubling up their hit total with a pair of singles here to start things off in the 5th. Ramirez 0 for 1 with a fly ball.
Well, we talked about the bunt situation a couple of innings ago. This is where Ramirez wants to go with the bunt because Cabrera is charging very fast. If he bunts to Cabrera, he will throw him out at third base. Depending on where the base runners are, depending on the outs, will give you the direction that the hitter is trying to bunt the ball.
Little meeting on the mound now. The entire infield convening on the hill.
It's a 2-0 count now. Don't just throw a fastball right down the middle, anticipating that Ramirez is going to bunt on the 2-0 pitch. The bunt may be on, but this guy also has some power, even though he's off to a slow start. He had 4 grand slams last year.
But you only have so many of those opportunities to cash in 4 times. That's a whale of a season. Showing off that power that belies his build. Very wiry build.
They took the bunt off, at least for that last pitch, but Ramirez didn't swing at it.
Swings at that one and rolls it on a diving stop. Cabrera better hurry. Flips it to Galaraga for the out. And the runners will move up.
Cabby diving all over the place today. That ball right off the end of the bat had some English to it. He dove for it, hit his glove, and he knocked it out, but Galaraga was right there to get the out.
It's a nice play all the way around. Jim Leyland coming out for a chat now as he marches out to the hill. Big spot in this game because the White Sox, as we get deeper into this game now, and especially the way the pitching has gone, they have a tremendous opportunity here.
Well, Jim out there just giving some instructions to Galaraga and Laird for the most part. You see every single player is there, but he is really talking to Galaraga and also Laird as to, you know, whether they really want to go after Anderson in this situation or possibly pitch around him and go after Lillibridge. The scary part of that is if you go after Lillibridge, leadoff hitter, he's tough to double up. He's got real good speed.
Anderson is a guy that doesn't hit all that well in terms of average, but he can run also. He walked back in the third. We'll see how the Tigers played here. Second and third for the White Sox. Konerko and Pierzynski aboard. And strike one on Anderson.
So many times as a hitter, when you see that manager go out there, and Anderson knows the situation. He knows there's a base open. So therefore, as a hitter, you start thinking way too much. And you'll take a pitch that's right down the middle as he did right there. With a runner on third, less than 2 outs.
So that might have been the best pitch you'll see.
You start thinking exactly what I was relaying to our viewers, that they possibly could pitch around him. Now he finds himself 0-2 and scuffling.
Galaraga trying to pitch out of this jam here in the fifth. Here comes his 0-2. Just stays alive, knocking that thing out of the glove of Gerald Laird. Anderson, known more as a defensive player, had a 106-game errorless streak last year. And Galaraga trying to finish him off here. Good pick up there by Laird, or stop at least. 1-2.
Galaraga not afraid to bounce that breaking ball with Laird behind the plate. And they've only seen Laird a short time, spring training in. 6 games into the year. Actually more than 6 games into the year, but they know that he's a good defensive catcher, can block that baseball.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brian Anderson.
A good fastball right here up in the strike zone would get Anderson to swing and miss. In the back of his mind, he's sitting on that breaking ball because he's gotten a steady diet of them with 2 strikes from Galaraga. Therefore, a good fastball, good moving fastball, or one up in the strike zone would get him to swing right through it. Which would be a huge out for Galaraga. We'll see what they want to do, though.
Tigers have been out hit 4-2 in this game. Neither team has scored as we play in the fifth, although the White Sox are threatening here. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and down he goes.
Another breaking ball.
Striking out, third of the game for the right-hander Galaraga.
And located in a beautiful spot. And Lincoln Mercury Exmo replay.
Well, with 2 gone now, an opportunity for Galaraga once again to wiggle out of some trouble. Here is Lillibridge, who is 0 for 2. Popped up. Foul ground. Can Cabrera get there? He cannot. He'll bounce into the seats.
Cabrera getting a workout today at that first base position. Diving to his right, diving to his left, He has stolen the base. That time trying to run down a fly out in foul territory. Big fella working up a sweat.
Yeah, he is. Dropping a couple pounds in the process. He's come a long way defensively down at first base.
He's been working at it.
There's another pop-up back into the seats this time. 0-2 now. Galaraga 1 pitch away from stranding 2 runners. Lillibridge was acquired in the Javier Vasquez deal, along with Boone Logan. Those 2 players went to Atlanta, and Lillibridge came over. He's behind 0-2. They set up outside. Oh, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Talked about the speed factor. He swiped 23 at Richmond last year, the AAA affiliate of the Braves. Trying to break the scoreless tie. 1-2 pitch. Again, flared toward the seats and back out of play.
That last pitch was a good pitch to hit for Lillibridge. It was a breaking ball, but it was hanging right around the belt buckle. Galaraga has not left many up in this area, but a good pitch to hit. Got away with one there.
Armando with 3 strikeouts and 1 walk here today. Is 1-2. Is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They're making Galaraga work.
Yeah, they are. This inning, 25 pitches.
He's over 80 pitches. 84 to be exact. That's a lot. He hadn't gotten through the 5th inning.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Brent Lillibridge. And he'll take time now as Galaraga takes too long. Inning opened up with singles by Konerko and Pierzynski. Ramirez was out 3-1, and then the strikeout of Anderson. White Sox came in at 4-3 this year. That is popped in the air. Shallow right field should get him out of the inning. Maglio is there, and Galaraga pitches out of the jam. Nothing doing for the Sox. We go to the bottom of the 5th. No score. Baseball, it is Jackie Robinson Day on April 15th, 1947. Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, 62-year anniversary. And back in 1997, Commissioner Bud Selig retired Jackie Robinson's number 42 league-wide. Special on-field ceremony. President Clinton was there, and Rachel Robinson as well. And April 15th will be Jackie Robinson Day at all major league ballparks as it is today. And all the players wearing 42 in honor of Mr. Robinson.
You know, a lot of times we forget about the fact that Larry Doby made his major league debut with Cleveland just a short few weeks after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. But a lot of times we don't talk about Larry Doby, but that was quite an event for him, I'm sure, as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's nice to see. We just showed you the 42 out there in the wall in right field here at Comerica Park. 42 at every stadium, retired. Inge against Contreras here in the bottom of the 5th. Did he go? They want the appeal. He didn't go. Jerry Crawford down at first base today. 2-2 on Brandon, who singled back in the 3rd. Tigers have but 2 hits today. In fact, they had a great chance, single and a double, but failed to score in the 3rd. Cued off the end of the bat.
You know, a couple of innings ago, I was talking about that game I watched last night when the Bird Fitch was pitching that Monday night game against the New York Yankees. I thought Thompson was playing right field, but he was actually playing first base. Mickey Stanley was playing in right field. I don't know why I thought Thompson was in the outfield.
Yeah, I don't remember him playing in the outfield. That is 4 strikeouts. Mickey Stanley, though, was very good outfield.
Hey fans, there is nothing better than Tigers baseball and hot dogs. The Tigers' new All-American deal gets you an upper box ticket, hot dog, and soft drink for only $22. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Well, we're still looking for our first run here today. Here's Josh Anderson. He had a double down the right field line back in the 3rd. And now 3 for 6 in this series with 3 RBIs, a couple of doubles as well.
About time for a bunt from Anderson. It's part of his game. He works on it. He'll try to take it towards second. If he does do it. He told me in spring training that when he was with the Braves, he bunted 30 bunts, practice every single day. Practiced 30 pitches and bunting every day.
2-0 pitch in BP.
Well, he probably did it before the game off of the machine. Except that's something that he's probably going to do here with Detroit as well.
Well, with his speed, that is a skill that if he can perfect, and he is certainly on his way to doing so, could really make him a difficult out. 3-0 pitch. There's a strike. 3-1.
The last thing they want to do is walk him. With as slow as Contreras is to the dish, you know that Anderson will steal second, or at least attempt to steal second.
Three and 2. It may take getting these starters out of the game before we get a run. Galaraga's pitch count is a lot higher. 85 through 5 innings.
That's a lot for him.
Sure is.
Give some credit to the White Sox.
Anderson staying alive. Josh Anderson played his college ball at Eastern Kentucky. He was a big college basketball fan, big University of Kentucky basketball fan, and dreamed at one time as a kid of playing for the Wildcats. Was a good high school basketball player, but he felt that he had a better shot going professionally in baseball, and here he is in the big leagues.
A lot like Curtis Granderson.
Absolutely.
Good high school basketball player. Curtis also entertained the thought of playing some junior college basketball before that was derailed by an injury.
He's staying alive. Three and 2 on Josh Anderson. This is the 9th pitch coming up. Anderson has had quite an at-bat. Three-two pitch, and that one is fouled off again. Contreras trying to figure out how to put him away. And there is ball 4. So now we'll see if Anderson will be on the run here. That is the first walk allowed by Contreras.
That's a double.
It might as well be.
And they got the right man standing in the batter's box to give Anderson a couple of pitches to try to steal second base. But Ozzie Guillen will also pitch out if he needs to do so. So just as we know Anderson will try to get down to second, so does Guillen. And they could use the pitch out to help Pierzynski out because Contreras does not have a good move, nor is he quick to home plate.
There he goes on the first pitch, and Pierzynski will have no throw. I don't think it would have mattered. Stolen base. He didn't waste any time.
He got a great jump.
He's either the fastest human in the world or this is a great jump.
He has 6 steps towards second base before the ball even gets into Pierzynski's hand. And that's why you see the catcher drop balls on those situations. They're trying to rush. Therefore, they mishandle the baseball.
Scoring chance now for the Tigers with 1 out. Santiago struck out back in the 3rd. He's hit safely in his last 3. And now it goes to 3-0.
Green light him here? Just kidding.
No.
Just kidding. You'd fall out of your seat if Santiago swung at this 3-0 pitch, wouldn't you?
I'll pay you big bucks right now.
I'd fall out of mine, too.
And he's taking 3-1. 20 pitches to the first 3 hitters now for Contreras, so his pitch count starting to elevate a little bit. He's at 72. He came in at 52. 3-1 offering. There is ball 4 and another walk. Back-to-back base on balls. It's going to bring up Curtis Granderson. Sooner or later somebody's got to break through. It might as well be Granderson here. Grandy 0 for 2 with a ground ball and a pop-up. Gap shot here, scores 2 with ease. Got a couple of guys on base right now that can move a little bit. Ball 1. Contreras had a nice easy start to this game, retiring 6 in a row. As you look at the numbers on Granderson as a leadoff hitter since 07, he ranks high in most categories. But the past 3 innings have been a bit of a struggle for Contreras. Randy thought about it, takes a strike.
Just as Contreras has done the last few times he has found himself in trouble. He goes to his breaking ball with the runner on second base.
Well, Granderson, a tough guy to double up. Contreras last year got over 60% of his outs via the ground ball. And they turned a lot of double plays behind him. That straightens him up. Inside, 2-1 on Granderson.
Contreras reaches in and gets that split-fingered fastball grip, and before he decides what pitch he's going to throw, and then when he gets it in his glove, he'll change it to whatever he wants to throw.
There's a ground ball to first. Konerko spins to second. One. Here comes the relay. Safe. Granderson beat it out. That would have been an inning-ending double play.
Most guys on the Tigers roster, that is a double play. With the exception of Anderson and Granderson, Konerko does this perfectly. A couple of hops in his glove. He gets a firm throw to Ramirez. Ramirez gets the ball back on its way to Contreras rather quickly, but the speed of Granderson allows him to beat it.
And we'll get a visit on the mound now with runners at first and third and the difficult Placido Polanco to deal with. Don Cooper having a chat with Contreras.
Cooper has been in the White Sox organization for 22 years. 7 as a major league pitching coach. And does nice work.
Well, back in the third, Contreras was able to get out of a jam after runners were at second and third and nobody out.
Well, he went to some secondary pitches in that situation. He struck Maglio out first and foremost and got Granderson to pop up and getting Polanco to ground out.
So now runners at first and third, and it's fouled back out of play. Polanco with a couple of ground ball outs. No scores we play here in the fifth. Anderson the go-ahead run at third. Granderson at first base. Placido with a 6-game hitting streak going. Inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's Anderson. He let it off with a walk, stole a base. There's Granderson. This is a much different feel than the first game in which the White Sox won 10-6. There were a ton of walks. A lot of hits on both sides, a lot of power. Runner goes, and it's fouled back out of play. Granderson was on the move. One and 2 on Polanco. And time called. Tigers have had at least 1 base runner in each of the last 3 innings. Contreras really has slowed things down now. This has been a long inning for him. He has reached 80 in the pitch count. Runner goes again, and it's looped into right field. Here comes Dye on the run, and it will drop foul. Just by a couple of feet. That would have scored 2. One and 2 on Polanco.
A.J. Brzezinski out now having a conversation with Contreras, and he's probably talking about the fact that the last 2 breaking balls have been off the plate outside, and Polanco has fouled them both off in that same area. So apparently they think that Polanco may be looking for something soft away from him, and they may try to crowd him with a fastball here off the plate inside or catch the inside corner.
This will be the 30th pitch coming up in this inning alone for Contreras.
See where A.J. sets up. Slider.
Here it comes. Grounded foul. Look out. Anderson skipping out of the way. Contreras' pitch count was in great shape through 4 innings. He had thrown just 52 pitches, but now he's in the 80s. He's given up only 2 hits. Both of them came back in the third. He's trying to pitch around a couple of walks here in the 5th. In the air, hit pretty well, left center field. Anderson was playing shallow, and he is going to get burned all the way to the wall. This will score 2 runs. Polanco will pull in with a double, and the Tigers take the lead.
Well, Polanco has been money in these situations the last few years in a Tigers uniform. It's a breaking ball that had no tilt to it. We talked about Anderson in center field playing very shallow earlier in the game and that he would be burned sooner or later, but you didn't think Polanco would burn him.
And with as many pitches as Contreras has thrown in this inning, sooner or later you figured he might make a mistake, and he just spun one up there, and Polanco punished it. Third hit of the game for Detroit. They lead 2-0. Maglio swings on the first pitch and hits it to center. Anderson waiting to end the inning, and he does. But the Tigers take the lead on the Polanco 2-run double. 2-0 Detroit. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by your Chrysler and Jeep Superstores and by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Well, back here at Comerica Park, it has turned into a nice day. Nice day for a picnic here at the yard. The Tigers have taken the lead for a long time. A scoreless battle between these two teams. Now it's 2-0 Detroit. And on our way to the 6th inning, Galaraga has a lead to work with now. Polanco driving in 2 with a double. First pitch is hammered to center right at Granderson.
Gotta like that.
Thank you very much. One gone.
Big inning for Galaraga. Needs to make sure he shuts the White Sox down and get his offense back in the dugout in a timely manner, and also keep his pitch count down so he can go back out there for possibly one more inning for Jim Leyland.
We'll bring up Carlos Quentin.
He's done a nice job so far with Quentin. First time up, he kind of crowded him with good two-seam fastballs. Second time up, he threw him breaking balls away.
Strike one.
With Laird behind the plate and Galaraga on the mound, he just sets up right down the middle and allows the action on the two-seam fastball for Galaraga to do whatever it's going to do. He also does that with Minor on occasion. Set up down the middle, knowing that they're not going to throw you a straight fastball.
On the ground to third, foul ball. Right there to make the call was Phil Cuzzy.
When you get a hitter that likes to pull the baseball and is very dangerous, as Quentin is, if you continue to throw them good inside fastballs, then they go up there and start looking for that pitch, and then they find themselves swinging at fastballs that are off the plate inside because they know you're going back in there.
The 1-2 pitch. Well, any win against the White Sox would be a good win for the Tigers. This is just not a team they've been able to handle for the most part. The White Sox are 50-25 against Detroit since the start of the 05 season. And they have a chance to win here today, leading it 2-0. And within their division, they'll play the White Sox again a ton this year. Ozzie Guillen's group usually comes into Comerica Park and puts together a pretty good game, as they did a couple of days ago. Even though their starting pitcher walked 7, they won the game 10-6. And it is popped up left side of the infield. Brandon Inge.
Take a look at this next pitch from Galaraga. That late life, that late movement allows it to get on the label of Quentin. He is frustrating him today.
Here's Jim Thome. Thome 0 for 2. Struck out back in the first inning with a man at third base. There's that shift that they play with Thome up. Not only do you have Polanco playing a short right field, but you also have Maglio almost on the warning track.
And on most nights, you need somebody out there in the seats to get Thome out.
That is not legal,
because he plays long ball quite often. Now that shift would work if you could put somebody in those right field seats.
Yeah, but you have to have the ability to jump over seats, though, to make the play. So you got to be nimble out there.
Yeah, that's true. Whatever it takes.
The 1-2 pitch. Thome trying to keep it alive for Jermaine Dye. Missed it. 3-2 on Thome. Galaraga marching toward 100 pitches. He's almost there. Got 97 right now. Got him, strike 3. Second time he's gotten Thome. 4th strikeout overall, and a 1-2-3 inning for Galaraga.
And Galaraga helped out back in the 3rd inning by Brandon Inge. 3 components to this play. First, the feet are moving while the ball's getting in the hitting zone to Josh Fields. Second, he does not leave his feet to get to the ball. Thirdly, gets rid of the ball in a timely manner for Cabrera to come off the bag and make an outstanding play. If he dives for this ball and leaves his feet, he's got no chance at getting Josh Fields out, the third baseman.
Coors Light freeze cam on Brandon Inge. A terrific play earlier in this game. Tigers trying to add to the lead, and they might just have done that. That ball is gone. Trotting around the bases is Miguel Cabrera, and it's 3-0 Detroit.
Cabrera came into this game 7 for 10 against Contreras. Contreras was able to keep him in the ballpark first couple of times up, but not that time.
Line drive home run, no doubt about her either.
There's a lot of guys hitting a lot of home runs in the month of April. Balls are flying out of all the ballparks. Slow motion. He's powerful. Dangerous. You can't get him out with strikes.
Here's Carlos Guillen. Strike one. For Cabrera, his 4th home run and his 11th RBI gives Galaraga another run to work with. 3-0. Carlos, a pair of high fly ball outs in this game, 1 for 5 in the series. Pulls this one to first base. Konerko backhands, and Contreras covers. 1 out. Tigers got 2 in the 5th on the 2-run double by Polanco, and Cabrera has just gone deep.
Off to Seattle, partner, tomorrow afternoon. Those Mariners are off to a really nice start under their new skipper, Don Wakamatsu. They are 6-2.
You know, we came into this season thinking the Angels would run away with that division, and they just might before it's over. But Seattle off to a nice start. They have Griffey back in their uniform now. It's always fun to go out to Seattle. Laird tries to bunt his way on.
Nice pitching matchup set for Friday as well, with Justin Verlander and the young kid King Felix in Seattle.
It's going to be a long road trip.
10 days, isn't it?
9 games in 10 days. You are correct. Seattle, Anaheim, and then Kansas City. I want to put in my order for Gates Barbecue right now for KC, even though it's a week away.
No, they got plenty of barbecue there. You ain't got to put your order in early.
That's true.
They got you covered.
You can walk in
City.
24 hours. They're open. On the ground and through. That's a base hit for Gerald Laird. Tigers have another hit. Here's a look at that Mariners series.
Eric Bedard, he was sensational in his start this year as well. Carlos Silva pitched well. And they'll be going up against Verlander, Jackson, and Porcello, who was scheduled to pitch yesterday, but he won't go until Sunday. And if you weren't with us at the top of the show, Zach Miner will be pitching out of the Tigers bullpen for the next 10 days or so, until the Tigers need a 5th starter.
Well, the Tigers are trying to find a way to limit Porcello's innings this year in his rookie season, and this will afford them that opportunity early on. Brandon Inge, the batter, the single by Laird with 1 out, being held by Konerko.
The Tigers have been aggressive on the base paths today already. Cabrera stole a base. Anderson also stole a base. And Granderson, when he was on first base, he was running too, but Polanco fouled off a pitch. So they are trying to exploit one of the weaknesses that Contreras has, that he doesn't hold runners on very well.
Well, Contreras, whose pitch count jumped over 30 pitches in 1 inning, and now he's going to have to watch the bullpen warm up. 91 pitches now. Clayton Richard beginning to tune up, the left-hander. (3-0) Detroit. The home run by Cabrera has extended the lead. Ball inside to Brandon. Inge with a single and a strikeout in this game. Brandon recently hit his 100th big league home run. 56 have come in this ballpark.
This is his 1,000th game in a Tigers uniform today.
So the milestones are starting to pile up now. 2-1.
Went from starting catcher to third base to utility guy to third base again.
Well, it's been a career of, as he puts it, ups and downs. There was a time when he was struggling offensively, was sent back down to the minor leagues. Had that really good year in 06, helping lead the Tigers to the World Series. Then with Cabrera being acquired last year and Cabrera playing third base at the time, they move Inge back behind the plate. And now he's back at third. On the ground to third base. Oh, it's bobbled by Fields, and he will have no play. Possible double play ball is muffed by Josh Fields.
And Fields tried to turn this before he really even got the ball in his glove, and when that happens, a lot of times you don't do either. You don't make the play cleanly, nor do you get the ball to your second baseman.
So with Anderson due up, Ozzie Guillen wants the lefty out of the bullpen. Wall side windows pitching change. The Tigers have knocked Contreras out of this one. We'll be back.
Through the first 5 innings, he kept some Tigers hitters off balance with a mixture of fastballs from different arm slots. He had the fork ball he brought out in the 3rd inning. Also threw some real good sliders, but he pitched at some stress as well. And finally, Polanco got him in that 5th inning and drove in a couple of runs.
And then Cabrera got him here in the 6th inning to add another. The numbers on Jose Contreras. Still responsible for the 2 men on the bases. And the new pitcher is Clayton Richard. And he will face Josh Anderson here with 1 out. Tigers trying to pad the lead. And he drops down a bunt. First base side. Richard has to hurry. Safe. Everybody is safe. Speed is a fun thing to watch.
It never goes in slumps. And when you have a guy that really practices the art of bunting as much as Anderson does, he's going to get a lot of hits. He stays in the batter's box long enough to place it where he wants to get it. He wants the pitcher to field the baseball, which he does. And now it's just he outruns this little lob throw by Richard to the bag.
So an error and now a bunt single, and the Tigers have him loaded with only 1 out. Santiago walked and scored back in the 5th. High towering drive. This one down the left field line. That ball is staying up and out. About a row back out of the reach of Carlos Quinton. He almost got there. Tigers a chance to break this one open here. They have 6 hits for the game now. Anderson has been on base 3 times in this game.
Richard played collegiately at the University of Michigan.
Ground ball, fair ball inside the bag at third. 1 run will score. That's Laird. Here comes Anderson. He'll score. Or Inge, rather. Anderson goes to third. Santiago does it again. He is having himself a series. Clutch it there.
Well, it goes back to the double play ball that was not turned by Josh Field, the third baseman, which extended the inning for the Tigers, and the Tigers are fully taking advantage of it. It's a breaking ball at the top of the strike zone, and Santiago just gets around it, and Field playing off the line because Santiago doesn't hit a lot of balls in that direction, and he gets himself a single and drives in a couple more.
And those runs belong to Contreras, so his numbers are complete. First and third, still only 1 out. Clayton Richard played both football and baseball at Michigan. Ball up high, 1-0. Anderson in search of his first hit today, 0 for 3. Two balls, no strikes.
Chris Getz also, young infielder for this White Sox team, also played his college ball at Michigan.
Wolverines well represented. Ooh, wasn't that a balk?
It looked like one.
Wow. You can't come closer to a balk than that. He had that hesitation as if he was going to come home. Popped him up. Foul ground. And Konerko hauls it in. So Randy's still struggling. 2 gone now. And that's going to bring up Placido Blanco. It's also going to bring Guillen out. And it appears that he will go right back to the bullpen. So Clayton Richard is apparently done for the day. Mike McDougal is warming up. Former Royals closer. And the call is made to the bullpen. So Richard faces 3 batters and will step aside. Another pitching change here at Comerica. Tigers up 5-0. To their lead now, it's 5-0. And a reminder to visit the official online shop of the Detroit Tigers at tigers.com. You can browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source at tigers.com. Fans having a good time today. The Tigers are providing a 5-0 lead at this point. Mike McDougall is the new pitcher for the Chicago White Sox.
He's off to a rocky start. He's walked 3 in 3 games. The earned run average is elevated, but it can be quite high if you have a bad outing early in the year. But McDougall, as you mentioned, was closing for the Kansas City Royals a few years ago and throwing awfully hard. He was touching 100 miles an hour on occasion, pitching well above 95.
So the Tigers, with runners at first and third, Anderson down at third base. And they have Santiago at first, trying to tack on some more runs here. They lead 5-0. 2 in the 5th and 3 here in the 6th. Placido Polanco had the big 2-out 2-base hit in the 5th inning to break the scoreless tie. McDougall was saving games for Kansas City back in 2003 when he saved 27.
Made an all-star team with Kansas City as well.
The 1-0 is a strike, 1-1. Tigers now have put up 7 hits, only 4 given up by Galaraga to the White Sox. In the air, right field. Jermaine Dye is on the run, and he will make the catch to retire the side. The Tigers send 8 men to the plate. Their 3-run inning is fueled by the home run by Cabrera. This afternoon, Tigers on top of the White Sox, trying to even up the series 5-0. Polanco and Santiago each have 2 RBIs. Cabrera has homered, a solo shot in the 6th inning. Galaraga, despite an elevated pitch count, has done a pretty good job today.
And it looks like he's going to be out there trying to get through the 7th inning, which takes a little stress off Jim and how he wants to maneuver his bullpen.
Well, Jermaine Dye will lead it off as we travel to the 7th. And the White Sox have not been able to put a run on the board to this point. It'll be Dye, Konerko, and Pierzynski facing Galaraga. Jermaine Dye is 1 for 2, a single back in the 2nd inning. Tigers trying to climb back over 500. They are 4-4.
Galaraga has kept the baseball out of the center of the plate this afternoon to a good White Sox hitting team, and a team that came in here Monday afternoon with both barrels blazing. But as we told you at the top of the show, Galaraga dominates and did dominate right-handed hitters last year to the tune of a 174 batting average.
Two balls, one strike. That was pitch 101 for Armando. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
That pitch is nasty. Just filthy. Look at this ball just slide out of the strike zone. And you don't see Jermaine Dye taking many swings like that.
That one got in on his hands a little bit, and he yanked it foul back into the seats. Dye last year here, he must love hitting to this ballpark. It was back in July, homered in 3 straight games here against the Tigers. Homered in the first game in this series. Again, the 2-2. Jermaine last year hit .292 with 34 home runs. Again, the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Galaraga sends it back to the bench with his 5th strikeout. First time he's gotten Dye today.
You can't hit that pitch. But it looks like it's a strike coming out of Galaraga's hand. I mean, if you're Dye, that looks like it's a breaking ball, but it's going to stay on the plane, which would allow you to at least foul it off, because it's a good pitcher's pitch. That's really what you're trying to do, is at least foul that ball off. And all of a sudden, once it gets toward the plate, that's when that real late life takes off, and you just can't touch it.
That'll go back into the seats. 0-1 on Paul Konerko. Well, Leland trying to get him through the 7th inning here, then turn it over into the bullpen. Middle of the lineup today just has not been able to produce for these White Sox. Quentin, Tomey, and Dye 1 for 9 combined. Armando has been able to navigate through it with no serious trouble. Action to the Tigers pen. Bobby C, the lefty. Ryan Perry, the righty.
You can always tell when Perry's up. You can hear him.
That was loud. Here comes another one.
Oh my goodness.
That microphone's right down there, isn't it? Right on top of the catcher's glove.
They turned it up a little bit last time, too.
That was his changeup, too.
A little extra added value on that last one.
Here we go. Looked like a shooting range down there. And there's a walk. Second walk for Galaraga.
He's going to go get him.
Yeah, it looks like the wheels are turning. And here comes the skipper. You got Brzezinski due up. And the skipper has made the signal to the bullpen. So Bobby C will come trotting in, and Galaraga's going to get himself a nice round of applause, and well deserved. What a job today, shutting down a potent White Sox offense. And let's listen. We'll go to break. Tigers leading at 5-0. Galaraga, terrific outing here this afternoon. He will give way to Bobby C with 1 man on, 1 man out.
What an effort once again by Galaraga, who just continues to give the Tigers legitimate opportunities to win every time they give him the ball.
It seems like start after start after start. And now C trying to get the left-handed batting A.J. Pierzynski.
Against left-handers, Pierzynski likes to sit on breaking balls, because most left-handers, when they come in this type of situation, they throw him breaking balls. And when he usually gets that breaking ball, he doesn't miss it.
Only 4 hits today for this White Sox offense. Pierzynski has 1 of them. He's singled back in the 5th, one of their better scoring opportunities. They had runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. But Galaraga struck out Anderson, got Lillibridge to fly out. Two and 1. Pierzynski had himself a pretty good spring, hit 300 for the White Sox. Where was that? A little bit outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. So Bobby C now has fallen behind. He'll take a walk around the mound.
Ed Hickox must have thought it was a little down.
There's a bouncing ball hit back towards 2nd. There's 1. Here comes the relay. That is an easy double play. 4-6-3. C comes out of the pen, does his work. We'll go to the stretch. Tigers in command. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. Back here at Comerica Park, where the Tigers are leading here this afternoon. 5-0 is the score. And Detroit looking to tack on some runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll lead it off with Maglio Ordonez. It'll be Ordonez, Cabrera, and Guillen. And McDougal breaks one off outside, 1-0. Ordonez today 0 for 3. He's hit a couple of balls to center field. The 1-0 pitch. Contreras, Richard, and McDougal in this game for Chicago. Ball club enjoys an off day tomorrow. They're going to need that day to travel out to the West Coast as they'll start up a series in Seattle come Friday evening. There's a strike. 2-2 on Maglio. Off the end of the bat, foul right by Andy Van Slyke. And a souvenir.
Any team surprising you this first couple of weeks of the season? Anybody surprising you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, in a negative way, the Cleveland Indians. They're a little bit of a surprise to me. They were 1-7 coming into play today.
We'll take that, though, in our division.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yes, indeed.
I think Seattle's a bit of a surprise. I didn't think they'd get off to that type of start.
Kansas City's playing good baseball, too, in our division. Minnesota holding their own, even though they don't have their very talented catcher, Mauer.
I think Scott Baker coming back today to bolster their pitching staff. And they were 4-5 entering play, and Jim Leland's team at 500. 3-2 pitch is inside. There's a walk. Leadoff man on here in the 7th.
Well, Cabrera, you can get him out on occasion, but most guys on most nights, you cannot throw strikes and try to get him out. He went down and got a little two-seam fastball from Contreras and leaned on it.
4th home run of the season for Cabrera. Miguel now with 11 RBIs as well.
Off to a really good start. Home run, RBI category, and he's hitting .455.
Well, last year he got up to such a poor start and finished with outstanding numbers, leading the American League in home runs. You wonder now with the good start this year if he can even build on those numbers from a year ago. Let me see why not. He ended up with 127 RBIs last season. He has gone 100 or more RBIs in 5 straight years as that one gets away from Pierzynski. Move the runner up.
Will not be 26th until later this month, I believe, with Cabrera. So just still real young and real talented. Jim Leland calls him a force.
Last pitch, a wild pitch. It's fouled back out of play. 2-2 now on Miguel. Now the 2-2. Right back up the middle. That's going to get through. Here comes Ordonez. They're going to try and score him. Here comes Anderson's throw. It's going to be cut off. And Cabrera has another RBI.
That's what makes Miguel so dangerous. When he's ahead in the count, he's looking to do some serious damage in the gaps and over the wall in any direction. But once you get 2 strikes on him, he'll choke up just a little bit. He'll cut down his swing, and he'll take the base hit right back up the middle. He's already done that a number of occasions this year. Maglio gets a pretty good jump off of second base, and you know with the 5-run lead, Lamont's going to send him home.
So here comes the only Tiger that has not reached base in this game, and that would be Carlos Guillen. 8 Tigers hits now. They built a 6-0 lead. Fouled straight back 0-1. Cabrera 2 more RBIs today, 12 for the year. Guillen has knocked in 4, batting just 179. Galaraga, the recipient of all this offense today, and twirled a shutout before leaving. There's a ground ball to first. Konerko spins. There's one. Here comes the relay, and got him out at first base for the double play.
Well, Guillen's still bothered by that Achilles. That's preventing him from playing outfield, also preventing him from running at full speed. Achilles tendons are tough. You've got to be careful with those things. And you can see he's got a little gimp in his step.
Two outs, base is empty. That'll bring up Gerald Laird. Laird singled and scored in his last at bat, and there's a strike. 1-1. Well, what a difference a day makes or a game, I should say, in the offense the Chicago White Sox have been able to put up. Of course, Galaraga had a lot to do with that, but only 4 hits today. It's hit pretty good into right field. Dye going back, spinning to the wall, and making the catch. What a play by Jermaine Dye.
He is some kind of player.
So the Tigers add another. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. He leads 6-0. Jermaine Dye, what a play to close out that inning.
That is the second great catch this year that Dye has made. He got turned around momentarily, but he eventually turned to the right side to jump up against the wall and take a double, maybe triple, away from Gerald Laird. I don't think that ball would have carried out of the ballpark, but what a great play by Dye. They're down by 6, boy, but he's still giving you a great effort. Look at Exmo.
Well, the Tigers will bring a new pitcher in now as we go to the 8th inning. And leading it 6-0. 6 outs away from getting a victory here today. Ryan Perry is checked in.
The hard throwing Ryan Perry. 1 year removed from college. This time last year he was pitching for the University of Arizona.
Here's Alexi Ramirez to lead it off. First pitch has him buckling out of the box. He laid it in there at 95, and it's fouled back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ramirez. Anderson to follow, and then Brent Lillibridge. Stick around for Tigers Live after the game. Recap this one. Oh, look out again as he jackknifes down to the dirt.
Alexi Ramirez is probably thinking to himself, why me? I'm off to a slow start. I'm hitting the buckets and change. I can't get off the interstate. And you continue to buzz my tower.
That's 2 of them in this at bat. Doing a limbo to get out of the way. It's popped up. Back to the grass, Polanco, and Ramirez probably happy to go back to the bench. We'll bring up Brian Anderson. Anderson a walk and a strikeout. Ball 1. Only 4 hits today for the White Sox as we play here in the 8th. Tigers have 8 hits and a 6-0 lead. That's on the ground to second base. Routine for Polanco. 2 gone. Well, it's time for Stanley Cup playoff hockey. Here we grow again. You can grow along for the ride. Just go to DetroitRedWings.com. Get your tickets to see the Wings battle Columbus tomorrow and Saturday. Round 1 of the postseason. The 2009 Stanley Cup playoffs. The beard is back. Hopefully another long Red Wings run in the playoffs as well. Here's one. Getting ready for the NHL playoffs. 2 outs. Here is Brent Lillibridge. That one's over his head to the backstop. These White Sox players aren't going to get too comfortable in that batter's box. That last one was at 99.
Don't dig in, fellas.
Lillibridge 0 for 3. Couple of fly balls in each of his last 2 at bats. That's right at the knees at 95, 1-1.
And nothing worse than that. One over your head, the next one at 96 on the black outside.
Checked it, did not go. 2-1. Lillibridge trying to keep it alive for Fields. The Tigers took the lead in the 5th with 2 runs, then 3 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. Perry missed again, 3-1.
Yeah, Perry having a difficult time out there this afternoon and finding that consistent arm slot, which would allow him to get the ball down in the strike zone. Several of his pitches have been up. And usually when you see pitchers that are up, they're just too quick with their body. Their arm never catches up. Therefore, they're not able to get on top of the baseball. Long run for Maglio. He won't get there.
Harry, the Tigers' first rounder last year. Made his big league debut on the 8th at Toronto, tossing a scoreless inning in relief.
Brian Reed, who's the area scout out in Arizona, who does the 4 corners out there. Watched him a bunch at the University of Arizona and was able to pick him.
Fouled back out of play.
Brian's dad, Scott Reed, also works in the front office for Dave Dombrowski and has been with Dave for a long, long time.
Inside. And that's a walk. 2 out base on balls to Lillibridge. Well, the Tigers expected that would be part of the package with their hard throwing right-handers. He gets some big league experience. With the absence of Joel Zamaya, Perry is getting his opportunity. But the walk here to Lillibridge brings up Fields with 2 outs. And that one, did it hit him? Nope, it's off the catcher's glove to move the runner up, but it came high and inside to Fields. And now Fields and Perry having a little discussion. Both teams coming to the top step. It's the 3rd time now that Perry has come awfully close, and Fields taking exception to it.
Well, you can understand Fields being upset. But with that being said, Perry is just having a difficult time of commanding his stuff. But the White Sox, they don't want to hear any of that. The guy's throwing 97, 98 miles an hour. They're tired of pitches being that close to their head.
The last one, sit right by the noggin of Josh Fields.
The first 2 okay. That last one, they did not appreciate.
So Jim Leyland out there to calm his youngster down. One and 0 on Josh Fields. There's a strike. 1-1. I guess that falls in the category of being effectively wild. It makes the hitters a little bit unnerved.
Not a comfortable at bat.
That's going to get by Laird and go all the way to the backstop. So the runner moves up another 90 feet.
When you set up down the middle, which is where Laird was set up at, and the pitcher uncorks one at 97, you've got no chance at catching it. No chance.
Ooh, 94 in the black, and now it's 2-2. One more strike, and Perry can get out of this inning. Fields tripled back in the first but did not score. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out at 96. And that is that for the White Sox. So Perry walks a man, couple of wild pitches, but no damage done. to the bottom of the 8th now at Comerica Park, and the Tigers offer the best value in sports with $5 tickets, $5 parking, $5 kids and adult meals. If you'd like more information on Tiger tickets, 866-66-TIGER or tigers.com. Tremendous deals this summer right here at Comerica Park. Nice crowd here today for the final game in this series. Tigers will send Brandon Inge to the plate as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Inge, Anderson, Santiago in a 6-0 game. Tigers hold on and win in this game. They will finish with a 4-1 homestand before they head out west. They would head out there above 500. 1-1 pitch is off the end of the bat to the second baseman, Lillibridge. One out. McDougal came on in the 6th, pitched through the 7th, and now here in the 8th. There's Josh Anderson. He's had a big day. Double walk, bunt single, stolen base, run scored. Been all over the place. Ball 1. Anderson had a big stolen base back in the 5th. Part of that speed the Tigers have injected into their lineup when he plays. A 2-run inning in which Polanco doubled in a couple of runs. It was a scoreless game up until then. Whoa, where'd that one go? Hello.
Just a bit outside.
And Mr. Perry could look at that one and say, at least I was a little closer than that. The 3-0. There's a strike 3-1 on Josh Anderson.
Thank you.
There's ball 4. So Anderson aboard for the 4th time today. His 2nd walk. That'll bring up Santiago. The Tigers have really added some quality people to this organization in the offseason. Josh Anderson, a nice kid. Edwin Jackson, a nice kid. The 2 catchers, Matt Trainer and Gerald Laird, quality guys. I think that counts for a lot in your clubhouse.
Good baseball players, too.
There's Edwin Jackson. He's made a couple of starts in a Tigers uniform. He's got that smile on his face. Here's the 1-0 to Santiago. Inside, it's going to get away from Pierzynski. McDougal really struggling now. Roll the runner up to second base. Wild pitch. McDougal threw one of those back in the 7th. Another one here in the 8th. Three and 0. He just can't find the strike zone now. 3-0 pitch. Ball 4, not even close. Back-to-back walks. Tigers getting some more good performances and good production out of the bottom of the lineup again today. Santiago's been on base 3 times. Anderson been on base 4 times. Inge has a hit.
It's not necessarily the kind of power they were getting out of that slot Back in '06, when they marched all the way to the World Series with Timms and Monroe and Inge hitting all those home runs. But these guys are getting lots of base hits. Running, playing some small ball, sacrifice bunting. A little different look to the bottom third of the batting order.
Don Cooper is out there to talk with McDougal. More activity in their bullpen. McDougal just has not been able to get it done here in this game. In the 7th, he gave up a run, and now a couple of walks here in the 8th. And here is Curtis Granderson. Strike one. Curtis is 0 for 4 in this game now, and really through a tough stretch. He's 0 for his last 16. Not anymore. There's a base hit to right field. This will score Anderson. He'll come around with ease. Curtis Granderson breaks the slump with an RBI hit. And it's 7-0 Detroit. So the 2 walks causing some trouble here for McDougal, and Granderson makes him pay.
Well, when you're struggling a little bit, what you tell yourself is you want to let the ball get deep in the strike zone. You want to think about going up through the middle. And if you happen to pull your hands in, as Granderson did there, and you get barrel to the pull field, that's exactly what you'll take.
Here's Polanco. Ball 1. And McDougal consistently falling behind hitters. And the Tigers now have 9 hits in this game.
Tough to compete at this level when you're 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes versus 0-1.
Inside as Placido spins out of the way.
That's how most of these guys make a living, hitting 1-0, 2-1, 3-1.
Polanco had the big hit of the game. It was scoreless. Contreras was cruising along. So was Galaraga. Didn't seem like either team was going to score against the opposing starter today, but Placido doubled in 2 with 2 outs in the 5th inning, and the Tigers have been the only ones scoring since. They've gotten at least 1 run in each of the last 4 innings. Ground ball back to the mound under the glove of McDougal, fielded by Ramirez, who will throw to first. And a run will score. So Polanco, once that ball got by McDougal, picks up an RBI.
May have been a double play. Had McDougal been able to field it cleanly. But he was not able to come up with it. He slowed it down, however, for Ramirez, the shortstop, who had only 1 play. And that was to get Polanco out at first base.
Chance now for Maglio. 8-0 Tigers.
This was a big game for the Tigers. I know it's only April, but due to the fact that the championship, more than likely, at least because they won the Central last year, is going to go through Chicago again, you might as well give them that much. They had to come in and compete against this team, who had come into Comerica Park and absolutely dominated Detroit the last few years.
Yeah, to the tune of 50-25 against the Tigers since the 05 season.
The White Sox were walking around Comerica Park like it was a home game for them.
One ball, 1 strike on Ordonez. Now 2-1. RBIs in the inning for Granderson and Polanco. Maglio today walking and scoring ahead of the RBI single by Cabrera last inning. That's high. 3-1. Boy, McDougal's throwing a lot of pitches. 43 of them to be exact. Three-one pitch. There's a strike. Cabrera waiting on deck. Line drive, base hit left field. Granderson will score, and Ordonez adds to his collection. That's an RBI single, and it's 9-0, and that's going to be it for McDougal. He hadn't waited as long as he could, but he's got to go get him now. And for Ordonez, his 4th RBI.
Maglio, a .332 career hitter with runners in scoring position before that hit. So chances are when you fall behind him and you give him too many looks, he's going to get a base hit.
So the Tigers put together a 3-run 8th. Pitching change coming up for the White Sox. We will step aside. 9-0 Detroit.
The Tigers this afternoon. Our next April in the D Pistons telecast tonight when they wrap up the regular season with a road game against the Miami Heat. Coverage begins at 7:30 with Pistons Insider, followed by the game at 8. It's Pistons basketball presented by Bell Tire tonight on Fox Sports Detroit and Fox Sports HD.
So here is Miguel Cabrera now facing Carrasco with 3 runs in for the Tigers, 2 outs in the 8th, a commanding 9-0 lead. There's a strike, 1-1.
And then the Pistons get the LeBrons in the first round of the playoffs.
The fighting LeBrons?
The fighting LeBrons.
That's going to be tough. Tough matchup. Two balls, 1 strike. LeBron's all over the place. Commercials. Great player.
He's a stud.
Two-one pitch. That's into right field, a base hit. Tigers just keep on hitting.
You can't get him out with strikes. Just really can't do it.
3rd straight hit for Cabrera. 2 singles and a homer today.
Homer to left, base hit up the middle. Now a base hit to right. That's literally going foul line to foul line.
Maglio moves up. Another opportunity now for Guillen. That stays inside 1-0. 11 Tigers hits today. They badly out hit the White Sox 11-4. No Detroit today. Galaraga stands to get the win for the Tigers. Aglio down at second base. Cabrera at first. Missed it outside. 2-1. Verlander and Felix Hernandez on Friday night. 3-game series in Seattle. Off day tomorrow. That's inside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Players will need that half a day off here in the Motor City tomorrow. Some guys really haven't found places yet. As we take a look at this last breaking ball inside again. When you play every day and you're playing day games every day, it's tough to find an apartment.
That's popped up. Left side of the infield. Ramirez backpedaling to the grass. It's going to take care of the Tigers. Put up 3 more, though. We'll go to the 9th. Commanding lead. The Chicago White Sox on Jackie Robinson Day, April 15th, 2009. We celebrate the contributions of Jackie Robinson. The Tigers holding a commanding 9-0 lead. As we wind down Jackie Robinson Day, 62nd anniversary of Jackie breaking the color barrier. And boy, he meandered through his career with nothing but grace.
It's a wonderful gesture by baseball. And not only to recognize his day, but to have every single player on all the rosters and coaches wearing the number 42. They picked the right person to break the color barrier when they chose Jackie Robinson. They say that there were some other players that were playing in the Negro Leagues that were probably better players at the time than Jackie, but they felt like he was best suited to handle some of the scrutiny that he would go through as he integrated baseball.
They made a wise choice, I think, don't you?
Absolutely. He was educated. Went to UCLA.
Jerry Owens is the pinch hitter as we start things off here in the ninth.
Apparently Rodney needs a little work. It's not often you'll see your closer in a 9-0 game, but it's been a few days since he's worked. And Rodney's been pretty good the few times that he's gone out there this year for the Tigers, throwing lots of fastballs for strikes.
That's a routine fly ball to center. Grandy is there.
Which allows him to get to that tremendous changeup that he has.
Well, Fernando's looked good in 3 appearances, and it was, of course, Brandon Lyon who was expected to be the closer, but Lyon struggled in spring training. Jim Leyland said, Fernando, for the time being, you're the closer, and he has looked good out of the gates. Wilson Betamete will pinch hit for Jim Thome. Chopper hit to the shortstop. Santiago throws him out. 2 quick outs. So the Tigers looking for the final out here to put this one in the win column. Corky Miller, the pinch hitter for Dye. Paws wants everybody up on their feet. And let's hear it. Miller fouls it off.
Corky Miller trying to hit one out of here.
A couple of RBIs this year. Oh, and 1 on Miller. Tigers about to go to 5-4. There's a strike. 0-2. 1 more to go. Inside. Miller backs out of there. Rodney follows Perry, who followed C. Armando Galaraga started this one. Pitching into the 7th. Stands to be the winner. That's fouled back out of play. 1-2. The count stays on Corky Miller. Tigers blew this one open with 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th. And again the 1-2. Did he go? No. It's Jerry Crawford. Pretty close. Fouled away. Verlander, Jackson, and Porcello. That's your pitching rotation in Seattle starting on Friday. Porcello was scheduled to pitch today, but was backed up.
Friday must-see TV. Felix Hernandez pitching for Seattle.
Absolutely.
Get you a little power nap during the day. Stay up a little late with us. You can do it.
2-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. He struck him out. Fernando Rodney pitches a 1-2-3-9. And the Tigers win it here today 9-0, and they split with the Chicago White Sox.
Good game by Detroit. And we talked about the fact the White Sox had really come into Comerica Park the last couple of years and dominated them. Today was a good first step in taking care of home court advantage.